Welcome, everyone, to episode 34 of the draft. Tonight, we will be drafting our teams for the South Point 400 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Um, a very exciting weekend, in my opinion. We got a race where I think we know we're going to see some tire wear, multiple grooves on the racetrack, a nice, late race here for me, at least on the East Coast, 7:30 start, Xfinity on Saturday, 5:30 for the Cup race on Sunday. Going to be an awesome weekend. I'm joined as always by Tino Patino, the third, Phil Eastman. Guys, we're coming off the Charlotte Roval race where it was okay. I didn't lose any money. That's good. And, watch the race, and the race was more entertaining than I thought it would be. You get to the end of the race, and, now people are starting to post these videos showing, maybe some manipulation, things like that, whatever. But I don't know. For a Roval race, I was okay with it. But I don't. Do I want it in the playoffs? No, is what it is. Um, how'd you guys do, Tino? I'm going to start with you. I know you're, feeling a little under the weather, so thanks for toughing this out and joining the show here tonight. I know you guys don't want me to go off on a four race win streak here and walk this thing off, so you're not missing the show. Um, Tino, how'd you do at the Roval? I think you kept the streak going, didn't you?
Yeah, kept the streak going. So that was great. Got the historical 7th win in a row for an outright winner. And shout out to, you guys here and everyone that's tuning in. It's been an awesome run. Want to keep it going. Obviously, SVG was a favorite, but I think we all really did a good job last week on this show about talking about why capitalizing early in the week plus money before we never see them plus money again, potentially ever on a road course, was worth it. So that was great. Obviously, like I said, the favorite, so I won't take too much time, basking in the glory or anything like that. Right back at it. I want to go 8 in a row. Got to stand on my roof, which was pretty cool, yelling from the rooftops in my video there. So that was fun. In terms of the Roval race itself, it was a little, honestly, I'll say this. I thought with what Larson and Bell were able to give SVG at the end was awesome to watch. I'm always, I guess, maybe a little more positive than most. And then also from a playoff standings comment, I'll say this is I saw 2 tweets that really opened my eyes a little bit. One was the fact that all 8 of the drivers that have advanced were the top 8 in points in terms of the NASCAR playoff system we have now. If you were to revert back to the chase format that they used to have, those 8 would have advanced as well. So, maybe a little, I don't know, tip of the cap to those 8 because they're maybe not the most deserving from a lot of people's eyes with Logano in there, but I'd say I'm pretty happy with those drivers fighting for a championship now with where they're at.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that was very well said. I mean, that explains what we saw. Phil, how'd you do on the weekend? Did you enjoy the race? How'd it go?
Yeah, was up as far as the podcast picks. Almost 5 units up, which is good. Got SVG at a decent price midweek, and obviously that helps. I think the sentiment around NASCAR fans is like we're over the Roval, and if it never came back again, I don't think anybody would be upset about that. I didn't think it was a good race. I thought it was boring. I think Jeff Gluck made a great point on the teardown. It's like, if you are a casual fan, how are you tuning off football to watch that? There's just no way. As opposed to what we have this weekend, where, this is going to be in the afternoon slate of football. This is a race that I think NASCAR fans would. So I think they got to consider that moving forward. I don't see any reason, I know they announced the Roval for next year, but they could change it. There's nothing changing to your tickets or anything like
They
that.
change rules all the time.
Yeah.
Schedules. Well, they're already going there, so
Same
it's not like you
place.
have to change the schedule.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's cross our fingers there because that race sucked. And SVG is just amazing, man. It sucks in my mind because he is so good and we should appreciate greatness. But I just can't get there. It's like he's ruining road course racing where, I know everybody's had their streaks, but it's who's racing for second. So yeah, I mean, happy to be done with it. I love the fact that we're going to Vegas. Talladega being in that round of 8, okay, whatever, we'll deal with it. But Martinsville should be fun. Phoenix will be Phoenix. So we're ending strong here, and looking forward to this weekend for sure. So I'm happy to be talking with you guys about it.
Awesome. Yeah, they will have some very different racing this weekend. Should be a lot of fun in the opening round too. So I think everyone's going to go balls to the wall. Should be a lot of fun. And I'm glad that was the last time we will see SVG at plus money on a road course, and we all took it. So even the great ones, Tino, like you said, I don't want to take credit for that, but the great ones don't miss a layup in the important situations. So with it on the line there, streak on the line, you go and make your layup. So
I also want to hop in and say I want you to take credit for it, because not only did you say it on the show, but then after the fact, we were sitting in a little post game, me and you, and we were trying to break down, how we make the most money off of an SVG type of win, and that was really beneficial for me, and obviously all the tools that win the race. So shout out to you.
awesome. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, and I hope it helped other people in here listening, and I hope we all got it, because really, what's it going to open at next time? Minus 150 when we get to Coda? Minus 200? I don't know.
He lost Coda last year, so maybe we got one more. Maybe we got one more.
It could happen. They could be a little rusty, a
We'll
little
see.
sleepy over the winter, and we come
Yeah.
back and we hit it plus money on SVG again. We'll see. All right, cool. Let's move on then. We're gonna head to Las Vegas real quick, and I didn't even post it. Oh my gosh, I win the draft last week and forget to put the graphic in here, so I can't even put it up. But I did win. I gotta
Selfless.
go 4 in a row now to win by half a race. So this is it. Starts now. I need my 4 in a row. Phil, you're down by half a race. You only need 1 to get the lead here. This is tight. This is going to be a lot of fun. Cool race here to talk about tonight. I unfortunately, you know, my dog, I had him almost 10 years. Great dude, Webby boy. You guys met him Richmond weekend. Cool dude, super nice dog. Unfortunately, he's gone now. It made me, really think where I wanted to donate this money to. And I know that the Best Friends Animal Society has worked with Alex Bowman and NASCAR plenty of times. So donated to Best Friends Animal Society. If you're listening, you love dogs, animals, check it out. Any dollar counts, helps everything that they're doing. Great stuff. So that's where we donated this week. We'll move on to Las Vegas, and we're going to kick it to Phil for a quick race preview here for Las Vegas.
All right, so we got the South Point 400 coming up here, and our final 1.5 mile track of the year. This is a championship style track. When we get into this rotating championship schedule, I think a lot of people would hope that Vegas is involved in that. Second time that the Cup Series has been there in 2025. This will be the 6th 1.5 mile race that we've been to this year. So for all of your data sets, pretty big deal. And it's been a constant in the playoffs, and this is, a very important race. We'll touch on that in a second. Track stats, they've been here 35 times. The winners only started on the pole 1 time in the history of Las Vegas. It was Kyle Busch in 2009. Winners starting inside the top 5, 52%, top 10, 63%, but 6 in a row. 6 in a row, and that continued with Josh Berry in the springtime. The winner starting outside the top 20, few and far between, only 5 times. Last time it happened was Martin Truex in 2019. And then as far as manufacturer trends, Chevy has 4, Ford has 3 in the next gen car, Toyota winless in the next gen car here at Vegas. 5:30 Eastern time start. Ryan, you mentioned the late start on the East Coast, so that's interesting. Stage breaks, we've got 80 in stage 1, 85 in stage 2, and 102 in stage 3 for 267 laps. The tires, this is the same tire combination that we ran a couple weeks ago at Kansas. This will be the second time they ran on those left side tires, and they ran the right side in every 1.5 mile so far this season. But this is a very important race, because you win this race and you're in the playoffs, you're locked into the championship. You could basically not give a shit about the next 2 races and simply focus on Phoenix. It's been a winning combination for a few drivers in the past, and you better believe it's on everybody's mind. So that's what makes this race so important. It makes it so entertaining, and I think a lot of us are really looking forward to it for that reason alone. So that's what I got here for Vegas.
Very well said. Those are my exact sentiments heading into the weekend. Like, I am so excited for this weekend. I think we're going to have 2 awesome races, Xfinity and Cup Series. anytime you can combine tire wear with multiple grooves, I mean, that's just what we ask for every oval we go to, and we're going to get it this weekend. So it should be a lot of fun. And here's a picture of Las Vegas if you haven't seen it. Cool looking track,
Awesome track.
cool looking
Yeah.
layout. Yeah, so we'll get into it. If you are new to the draft, I'll explain the rules real quick. We're going to draft one driver from all the teams you see on the left-hand side there. We're going to draft a big three, which is another pick from Hendricks, Joe Gibbs, and Penske. We're going to draft a best of the rest, which is one driver from any team not listed on the left there. And we're going to draft a wild card that can be from any team in NASCAR driver that we haven't selected yet. We'll use NASCAR points for the scoring, and the winner will choose a charity that Win the Race will donate to next week. So this will be our 33rd donation. Be pretty awesome. All right, let's get into it. 2311. I'm going to pull the draft board up here. I'll go first. I'll just lead off the show real quick, and then we'll kick it to Tino. My pick here is going to be Tyler Reddick to lead things off. Now, he's pretty awesome in the fall Vegas races, the ones that he finishes at least. The ones that he's finished sixth, eighth, and then he did qualify second last year. Won stage one, wrecked out of the race. So that's always a possibility with Reddick. But in my position here, I'm looking for a little bit of that ceiling because I'm trying to win 4 weeks in a row. I really want to have a score to pop to start things off here. And I think Reddick can hit that ceiling. And our simulations say the same thing on Win the Race. Bubba might have more top 10s than Reddick in the 17 races in this package this year, but Reddick still has a better average finish. So when Bubba's bad, it goes real bad or real good. He's kind of like, believe it or not, a little more spiky, I guess, than Reddick is. But I think Reddick's ceiling is higher. Where if he won, I guess we'd be kind of surprised, but are we really? I mean, this track is kind of one where multiple lanes can come into play. You can ride up the track a little bit. I'd mentioned it a few weeks ago, and Toyota ended up just spanking in that race until they lost at Kansas. So give me Tyler Reddick here. Tino, I'm going to jump to you. Who do you got for your 2311 pick?
I'm going to be going with Bubba Wallace in this one for my pick here for 2311. 76 laps led on the 1.5 mile tracks this season. That's sort of just a good stat for me. Obviously, they can come from any different track, and I think Reddick does have the more upside, like you mentioned, which is a good call out here. But I don't know. I just feel like the 23 has just been consistently better than the 45 throughout the season. And we've expected the 45 to win more times than Bubba, which is fair because he has more wins. But now that they're both out of the playoffs, we can stop sort of thinking about, oh, he's going to get this win and move on. Oh, this is going to happen, whatnot. Especially how I'm taking a lot of consideration into Kansas as well, right? Bubba could have won that race too. Both cars sort of in the mix for a top 5 or in the top 5 racing throughout that one. So, yeah, I feel like Bubba's got a good shot this time around to at least have a top 5 car all day, be there in the mix. I don't think he's going to win it, but I feel like this is a situation where we would think Tyler Reddick and then Bubba outperforms him as he's done a few times this year.
Yeah, it's happened. I think, didn't we pull up like Daniel Cespedes' head-to-head thing, and weren't these guys split? Like every time we look at it, they're just split. So, yeah, I agree with everything you said. You look back at Kansas, you're like, damn, Bubba could have won that race. So coming here with the same tire combo, 1.5 again, why not? But yeah, they're split. So we're going to need a little bit of luck here probably to edge each other out on the 2311 pick, unless Phil is going to go with Riley Herbst. Phil, who do you got here?
Can't take Riley Herbst. Such a shame for that guy. I see Zach agreeing with the Bubba play, just saying like Tyler's distracted.
Didn't he just get good news though? Didn't mean to cut you off, but I thought Reddick's family just got good news about his kid. I don't know.
I didn't hear that.
So maybe that distraction is a little lifted. I don't know. But I thought they had received good news about. I thought his wife posted that, but I don't want to speak out of turn, especially about something like that. So
okay,
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm totally in the dark to that.
Okay.
But I will say I'm going with Tyler Reddick in this matchup, and it's funny because on my pod I picked one of the head-to-heads I chose actually was Tyler versus Bubba. Tyler Reddick's minus 140 on ESPN and Caesars over Bubba Wallace. And I know that seems short, but as I'm doing the stats on that, I'm like, holy shit, this is going to help me for the draft too. Tyler Reddick is good at Vegas. Like, just kind of enough said there. He's 8th in average finish at Las Vegas here in the 7 next gen starts. He's 5-2 head to head against Bubba Wallace in those 7 starts. So that by itself, his average finish is 13.8 compared to Bubba Wallace's, who's 25th in average finish at Vegas. 21.8 is his average finish. So just speed rating too. I mean, I know, Ryan, you're not into like the 1 through 36 speed rating, but the only 2 guys that I have better than him in speed at Vegas in the next gen car are Larson and Byron. So he's good here is the point that I'm trying to make. And Wallace is not. It just hasn't shown up here. So then you look at 2025 and Tyler Reddick has a 4-1 head-to-head record versus him. The only time he didn't get the win was Kansas last time out. And you could argue, I think most of us would agree, Kansas speaks to Bubba. We know that. Like, you hear Kansas, you think Bubba Wallace. It's just one of those deals. And it was only a 5-7 victory, 5th place to 7th place. So other than that, even with that 5th place finish, Bubba Wallace's average finish this season is 28.8 on these comp tracks. 28.8. The only full-time drivers worse than him in average finish is Hocevar and Cody Ware. That's fucking horrible. So, I mean, Tyler Reddick's not great this season on the Mountain Haps, like, to be fair, but 19.0 average finish. I mean, he's getting just like decent enough finishes, enough, and Bubba Wallace just not there. So I'm rolling with Tyler Reddick this week.
Yeah, I pulled up, True Performance, and I weighted it toward the more recent Gen 7 races. I started 2023 and went on from there. So it goes like on the right-hand side to be the older races, and then it gets to the race we had earlier this year, Las Vegas, before it gets to the highlighted recent weighted average column. And you can see Reddick right up there between Larson and Byron, like you said. So boom, there he is at the top. And it's not like Bubba's any slouch there. You don't got to scroll down far to see his name underneath there. But yeah, I like what we both said. What Tino said, what you said, what I said, all makes sense. And then we always got to remember what we talked about as well, that it's pretty much split when we look at the season as a whole here between these guys. So we'll see what happens there.
I will say I like what Phil said a lot more than what I said. He just nailing the stats there. I thought that was awesome, as Brian said as well. Before we continue on, wanted to pull up a couple of comments because comments in the chat have been fire as always. This was a funny one here. Robert Wilson saying Herbst got a DQ, had to check if it was for Xfinity, and then Mike Manning as well saying most weeks I forget Herbst is on the racetrack. Brian also then saying, Tino heard you jokingly say Herbst and had to check out. So I will say this. I am on a flu game right now. Got some soup next to me, blowing my nose. So don't want that on camera. So if I go into Tino mode like this, I'm probably doing one of the many things that's disgusting to watch. So I just want to get that out because I don't normally go off and on like that. But appreciate all the comments. Keep them coming. And a lot more good ones we can get to as well. And shout out right now, since I'm shouting them out, Easton. He may not be tuning in right now, but he will be catching us later on. He's dropped a few questions in the chat. We'll get to them sporadically. So, Easton, if you're tuning in now, after the fact, I'll keep bringing them up. But I appreciate you checking in.
Awesome. Thanks, Tino. And one other thing I want before we get through 2311, this thing, pretty sweet looking. So that's what Reddick's in this weekend. I didn't know if you guys saw that. If you guys are watching, it's just showing Tyler Reddick's paint scheme this weekend. Pretty cool. I definitely want to get that diecast someday. Add that to the collection. All right. Let's move on to Front Row Motorsports, our favorite. And Phil, I'm going to jump back to you and let you lead this great group off here. Who do you have for Front Row?
God. Yeah, I wrote down the Todd father, Todd Gilliland. I can't really remember why. If you're looking at his Vegas finishes, he's the worst of the group. He's finishing mid-20s pretty much every time. But I think I went with him because of his stats this season on mile and a halves compared to his teammates. I think I have him surprisingly like higher up. He's got, 3 top 15s, 4 top 20s, 16.4 average finish. His driver rating is dog shit. It's horrible, but I can't understand why he's just like kind of lucking into those finishes. Uh, so look, his teammates are nowhere near that. His finishes are 29th, 11th, 12th, 18th, 12th. Give me a mid-teens, 4 for 5 finishing inside the top 20. His teammates aren't doing that. So if you can get me a 17th, I think you win this. So I'm going with Gillen here.
All right. I am, and this is not to, again, there are no wrong answers in this, but I only have one written down about Todd Gilliland, and it just literally says Gilliland is straight ass here.
It's
That's
true.
it.
It
And
is true.
But these guys are straight ass almost everywhere. So, what's that really mean? I'll just go here because I got to go with Noah Gragson. I'm going with the hometown kid, Vegas born Noah Gragson. To me, it was between Zane and Noah only. But although Gregson never got an Xfinity win here, if you remember, he would just finish like second or top 5 all the time. So he was just like a top 5 machine here. 6th and 18th here his last couple times out. Wrecked out earlier this year. But that means, maybe that means for Gregson he's due to finish one. I don't know. I mean, like you said, what can we really say about this team? I do know he is, I think, good at this racetrack. Like this is the type of racetrack I want to target Noah Gragson at. So just give me Gragson here. I looked at Gillen, I couldn't do it. Zane is, hit or miss. Zane finds those finishes sometimes though, so he was very tempting. I don't know. Tino, are you going different here? You going Zane, or you got one of the guys we took?
Very intriguing to go Zane because he's out there. I feel like this is the first time no one has taken Zane. Zach also telling me to go with Zane, but I gotta stick with my guns. That's what got me this far in terms of getting the wins. And that's Noah Gragson at this track, home track for him, a 19.2 average finish. Phil mentioned getting a 17th around there would win this group, and he's done that a bunch of times. Let's read them off. 31st in the last one, so it's bad, but 18th, 6th, 30th, and 11th for Noah at this racetrack. So it is the one where I feel like I can pick him. It will probably be the last time I pick him. For the remainder of this season, we're getting there, right? Maybe this is the heartfelt pick here because there's some drivers I'll get to as well towards the end, and I'll be like, man, probably the last time going with him this year. So that's what I feel confident in him because he's had the speed on the mile and a halves. Yes, he's more prone to wrecking as well, but he's a guy that I had in my mind, so I'm going to stick with it because there are some other plays I might surprise you guys with later on.
Yeah. Tino, I'm going to let you lead off HMS then so you can get 2 in a row here and then hop back to your soup.
Perfect. So this one's Kyle Larson. I feel like that's easy. We've talked and I'm looking forward to hearing the win the race stats on him as well. So I'll leave that portion of my speech out for him. But this is a race he just continuously dominates. I'm also looking at laps led on mile and a half tracks this season. He has 425, and that's more than Byron, Blaney, Cindric, Bubba, like all the drivers and Toyotas that I feel like are normally up there as well. I'll list his finishes too for us here. For Kyle Larson in the next gen era at Las Vegas, we got him finishing in 9th, 11th, 1st, 2nd, 35th, and 2nd with an 8.7 average finish, which ranks 3rd amongst all drivers, 2nd to William Byron. Ross Chastain's actually 1st, but no wins for him. I just feel like, and this is perfect timing as well. So shout out Easton, who asked the question of if Kyle Larson is back. And I'm going to say yes, because I like that amount of speed that he showed, last weekend against SVG. Trying to find the comment for us here. The second part of that question is SVG officially the king of road courses. I'm going to say Yes. I feel like that's just an easy one.
Yes.
5 in a row has never been done before in the same season. Once he gets to having more wins than Jeff Gordon and the greats that are up there, Tony Stewart, then officially, I'd say, sure. But I haven't seen anyone race better than him on the roads. But Kyle Larson is back. This is the track to prove it. Even if he doesn't win this weekend, I feel like he has multiple opportunities to make his case to get into the championship for.
Yeah, man. I think it's like it's go time for this team because then you're going to go to Talladega and you're going to go to Martinsville. So um, I think it's now or never for Kyle Larson. Larson all the way for me here, uh, and not particularly close. Same thing with like how we simmed it out on win the race and everything in our scores and ranks before practice and qualifying. He's been awesome here, even in his Chip Ganassi days. I talked about this with Eric Estep earlier today. He had 6 top tens in those 9 races with CGR, including 3 top 3 finishes with that team. Then he goes to HMS and he wins 3 races in his first 10 races at Vegas with HMS. Has led more laps here than anyone at Vegas in the Gen 7 era. And he's got 11 top 10 finishes in the 17 races in this package this season. All different track types, whatever. They get in this package. He's good. He's fast. And we know he can rip it at Vegas. So I think he's getting the finishes. I like Larson. I'm not too concerned about him here. Whereas sometimes you're like, man, is he going to be a little too aggressive? What? I don't know. I kind of like that. I think he's going to go out there and he could lead a lot of laps and contend to win this race. So give me kind of super hot take, but give me Kyle Larson here. Phil, who do you got?
Yep, three-peat. No way I could be different here. Kyle Larson. If you don't have him on your card in this game, you're asking for trouble. Because this is a playground for him, and they know how big of a deal it is. I don't want to be different here because he could go out and lead, 200 to 267 laps. So, not going to mess around. And you mentioned the importance of it with Talladega looming. I mean, I know that some of us think that he might perform better than normal at Talladega, but still, if he does Kyle Larson, historic type performance there, if he doesn't have a lot of points racked up in his pocket, that could really hurt him. So this is a big deal, obviously. And if he's not going to win the race, he needs to be, getting those stage points, getting, a top 5. So
Yeah.
I expect it. I think they should too.
All right, cool. I'm going to, I'll let you lead it off then, Phil, for JGR here. Who do you have there?
I'm going with Christopher Bell. He is someone that has finished second in the last 2 fall Vegas races. I absolutely love that. And in addition, we're not talking about like winning the race. I think he could. Toyotas have not done that, as my track stats pointed out. But I do think that Christopher Bell can get it done. But if we're just talking about points, right, because that's what this game is about, he's got a pattern in the next gen car of bouncing back from a non-top 10 finish. And, he finished 12th in the spring. So you combine that with the fact that the last 2 fall finishes have been second. I love it. And you look at mile and a half so far this season. Who's the number 1 driver in average finish on mile and a half this season? Christopher Bell, 6.8. He's got 2 top 5s, 4 top 10s. He's the only driver who went 5 for 5, finishing inside the top 15 this season on mile and a half. He's second in speed rating. And you look at how he's done speed-wise in the last 3 mile and a halves specifically. And he's been the only driver to be consistently fast, like top 5 speed, boom, 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 3 races in a row. So for all of those reasons, plus the fact that it's go time, this team was, reading their own press clippings from the first half of the season, kind of lulled a little bit. Now it's time to go. You win this race. You're locked in to, accomplish your goals. I love Christopher Bell this week.
Yeah, he's another one. I think it's go time now. Christopher Bell had that written down all day. He had the second place finishes the last 2 fall races out because he pulled it both times too. Like he's up there. He shows up fast, wins the pole, runs up front all day, finishes there. There's really not much to add. Phil knocked it out of the park there with Christopher Bell. That's who I have here. Tino, who do you got for JGR?
Same for me. Can't be different. Like how Phil was mentioning with Larson, I feel like I cannot be different from Bell. And he's a driver that Go Fast Troy mentioned it. Shout out to him. Really tempted to take Bell outright. I am too. I mean, I like to build my card with at least 3 to 4 winners on there. Obviously, we've been on a streak of doing so. More priority towards the first or second picks, but Bell to me has to be at least my third pick this week. That's how I'm looking at it. I like Larson a lot, like we mentioned. Bell's in there. We're about to get to who else I like, so I'm gonna save that rant for a little bit later on. But I just feel like this is a situation where I can't overthink it. I can't look past Bell and have him finally get this victory at the track. And I see guys in chat saying Denny, Robert, Brian, NASCAR Talk Channel saying Denny's going to be the best. I hate to for the Denny believers out there, I just feel like he doesn't win at all this round. And hey, clip me if I'm wrong, right? This could be my chance to be wrong about that. But I just feel like, right, this is a cycle. We always talk about Denny making it, winning a championship. Well, in order to win the championship, I feel like he has to win in this round to do so. And I think his best shot is Martinsville to get there. And I don't really even see that happening either.
Yeah, Martinsville, I think, would be his best chance. I looked at Denny long here. I mean, of course, when we simulate things out, it's going to be one of the favorites. But it's like when you really dig into it, you get to Vegas and he's good to great, but he's not like, to me, a favorite to win this. I don't know. Just look at his finishes here. They're all top tens for the most part, but I don't view him as like a top 5 threat when you really start looking at all these other drivers and naming these guys like Larson and Bell and some others that we're going to talk about. I could easily see them running ahead of him here. So yeah, I don't know. Bell it is around the clock here for us. Let's go to Penske because I do think we could be a little mixed here. Tino, I'm going to let you lead it off for Team Penske here. Is your boy Sean in the chat, and what do you got going on?
Oh, he's ready. He heard it was a logs week. Everyone is getting their logs out for Joey Logs this weekend. Once again, advanced like he did last week. Was exciting to see there, but let me just break it down for you guys what I'm thinking. All right, Team Penske, Vegas, everyone's thinking logs, and I saw Zach Team 54 have the same sort of sentiment before. That's why I'm going Ryan Blaney
earlier.
That's why I'm going Ryan Blaney. Lap sled at 1.5 miles, 126 for Blaney. That's third best. Now, sure, there's a lot of 1.5 miles out there. This is not Blaney's best. But that's what we've been saying all year. Guys, come on. The tracks we go to that we've noted, Nashville, it doesn't have the best track record, New Hampshire, Richmond. We've said this over and over again. He's had multiple weeks to prepare for this race. Winning at New Hampshire was huge, not only for Ryan Blaney, but for the Team Penske as a whole, because now he can operate in the same fashion that Joey Logano does when he goes and makes his path to the championship 4. The other thing that I'm going to say is this. I feel like Logano's history, but also Cindric's at this track earlier in the year helps Blaney out a ton. If you remember this, Blaney wrecked here in practice in Vegas in the spring, had to go and come from the back. He did so. Now, he didn't finish because he wrecked again at the end, but his speed was there. Now I want to look at Kansas. Another, coincidentally, 1.5 miles that Ryan Blaney wrecked at in practice or wherever it was, had to start from the back. And everyone all the time talks about how hard it is to pass. And you're right. You're right. Yeah, it's so hard. Ryan Blaney up to the top 10 in stage 2. By passing cars. So that's my point is you put Ryan Blaney maybe inside the top 10 to start, top 15 even, because he doesn't do that well at qualifying. He'll be there. The long green flag runs, I think Brian mentioned it. He'll be there. And I think he wins this race, and he's my top play of the week. You cannot look past a Team Penske driver with his long run speed, with his lap sled, with his teammates that can operate on strategy like Logano here as they've done in the past, and not tell me that he's going to go out and win this weekend and make the championship 4 and win that too. So I'm all over Blaney.
Yeah, this narrative that Blaney's not good at Vegas, I just don't get that because, just look at his career here or just look at the Gen 7 races. Like, yes, he had some accidents. Like, he starts here in 2022, finishes stage 1 in the top 10, wrecks out of the race. Next year, stage 1, 5th, wins stage 2, finishes 28th. Not indicative of how he ran that race. Then he's got, let's just go more recently here. We'll go the most recent race, wrecked out. But like you said, passed everybody, got up to sixth in stage two, finished the stage two in sixth, but wrecked out of the race. Like, of course, that can happen. The fall race last year, like you mentioned, he wrecks in practice and then gets into the race, wrecks in the race too. I don't know. I just don't think the two races before that he finished third and sixth. So it's not like he's bad here. Some of these wrecks might be his fault, but they're not all his fault. So I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. I can't look at these stats and not pick Ryan Blaney here. So like I have to pick Ryan Blaney. I just can't trust Joey Logano. One thing we talked about with Joey Logano last week, we're like, oh, every time we get to the Roval, he shows up fast, qualifies well, runs up front. Showed up like total ass last week. The whole team was slow the entire weekend. So why would we just think he's magically going to show up and be fast? I guess it could happen. It is NASCAR. Maybe it happens, but like when you're looking at these stats here, there's 10 top 10s for Blaney in the 17 races in this package, only 5 for Logano. So he's more than doubled Logano's top 10s in this package this season. For everything Tino said and everything I said, I got to go with Blaney here. Phil, who do you got?
I will be throwing our boy Sean McBride a bone here. I'm going with Logano here. Part of it is I see an opportunity to have Logano on my card where at the moment you guys don't, because of his just overall consistency here and consistency on the mile and a halfs this season. Honestly, I mean, in the next gen car, I'm trying to find him here, is average finish at Vegas 12.6 with 2 victories and 3 top 10s, 6 for 7 finishing inside the top 15. If you look at what he's done so far this season on mile and a halfs in 5 starts, 12.6, exactly the same number. So like he's been able to just go out and get decent enough finishes. And so I like having a driver that, I took his top 10 number, minus 125. I think he's definitely going to be riding inside the top 10. And for whatever reason, they have figured something out. And I know we say even year Logano, okay, I know that it's an odd year. But if you look at the last 3 fall races, 2 victories and a 12th, I'll take either one of those. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just get me some points. I don't mind having a different driver here that has consistently shown up at this racetrack on a Penske team that knows what they're doing. And I'll take Logano here because I do believe in his top 10.
That's a great place to pivot. And you're doing like it's like the flop lag. It's like I'm the recency bias. Maybe he just scorched me last week, so I'm just like, oh, dude's ass. But I mean, it's not like this race is anything like that race. So really shouldn't think like that. But it's just something that's on my mind. I don't know.
I feel like the storyline, like if he were to win, NASCAR almost would have to announce a new playoff system the very next week because the world of NASCAR would melt down.
That's the thing too, is like I'm almost rooting for it just to see the world burn. It would just be it'd be a funny Monday morning logging into Twitter, reading everything.
That's a fact. So Logano.
All right. Cool. That's a great place to pivot. And now we get to another place where we can make another huge pivot here should we want to. I'm locked in. I got my guy written down, so I'll just go for it right here. I'm going with William Byron. So I talked about this earlier with E-Step as well, so I don't want to repeat everything, to a T, but in the Gen 7 Vegas races, Byron has finished top 10 in 6 of the 7 races. And the only time he didn't, he just missed it at 13th, and he finished both stages inside the top 10. So pretty much you get to Vegas in the Gen 7 era, and William Byron's running top 10 all day. He's been a little tougher one to figure out this year because some of the finishes haven't been there. One was Kansas most recently. We were kind of on him pre-practice and qualifying. Then he qualifies, 11th or something, and we're like, uh-oh. He wasn't really that fast in practice, and then he starts falling back through the field. But if you remember the end of that race, they were making adjustments all race long, and by the end of the Kansas race, Byron was telling his team not to make any more adjustments when he stopped, that he loved the car, or at least liked it. I don't want to say loved if he didn't say loved, but he liked the car and didn't want anything changed. maybe they figured something out, which kind of has me thinking maybe he can show up fast here. This is a track too, where we always say he does better when he qualifies well, but he's qualified top 3 here in 5 of his last 9 races at Vegas. So it is a place he can show up fast and qualify up front. So give me William Byron. I think we could see him have one of his 1.5s where he's running top 5 all day. Phil, I'm going to jump to you.
All right. I thought about Byron way too much today. And I love everything that you're saying. So come Sunday, I might have something on Byron because of all of that stuff you're gassing me up here. I'm not taking him in this pick right now because I don't know what's going on with them. Their last 6 races in the playoffs have been lackluster. So it's like, are the lights too bright? Like, what the hell's going on with this team? For them, I'm not necessarily a huge fan of Byron, but like for them, I would love to see them do well here and kind of right the ship. I'm not going to do it. I'm taking a guy that has really come on strong for me. He's been a big 3 pick for me for a lot of this year, at least the second half. I am going with Chase Briscoe. I have him in a head-to-head matchup winning the Battle of the Chases on DraftKings at -115. But that's beyond the point. Chase Briscoe did not start the season all that well in the mile and a half. Whoa, what's going on here? What do we got? Who's this guy coming out of nowhere? Wow. What do we got here, Ryan?
Oh, there you go. Go ahead. Did that distract you?
Do you want to tell us who that is?
Did that distract you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Jump scare.
A little bit. Yeah, Halloween's a few weeks away. I'll finish the Briscoe point, and then you can get to that guy. But his start of the year on mile and a half is not great, but they have figured it out. His last 3 mile and a halves, 4th, 3rd, 4th, with 2 straight poles. His speed rating has increased every single time he's gone to a mile and a half. And I know we talk about this all the time, so you guys are probably sick of hearing it, but in the last 6 Vegas races, Truex was 6 for 6, finishing inside the top 10. So, like, I know Briscoe didn't pull that when we got here earlier in the year, the 4th or 5th race of the year, but things have changed. This team is picking up speed. I think they feel it. They could taste it. A good run here would be phenomenal. I could see them starting very well, running top 5, and that's what I need here. So Briscoe is my pick here. I think they can, really pull something together and, actually show up for a chance at the Final Four.
All right, great. I'm going to pull up the original Briscoe post there. Tino, go ahead and give us your big 3 pick here, and I'm going to get this thing posted up here.
Perfect. Well, mine's an easy one. I'm going William Byron myself, just like you did, Ryan. His stats and his consistency at this track is what I'm leaning on, despite the inconsistencies from not only the season, but the playoffs as a whole. If I was judging off of that way and looking at how he's been racing this season and consistently recently, like how they've been, that hasn't sold me. If anything, I'd put Chase Elliott above them because he's been coming on, a little bit better than the 24 car. But I feel like anytime I do that and I look past him, then it's like, oh, I should have went Byron. Plus 900 right now to win the race outright is very intriguing to me, but I'm going to stay off of that early in the week just because of how much I like Blaney. Blaney plus 800. Also, but at the same time, I'm not going to bet Blaney until after practice and qualifying because I don't see him doing anything special. I could see Briscoe winning the pole. Someone said Logano before, Bell even, Larson, I guess, would be one. I'm always mentioning staying off Byron, but like now because I hammered him for Kansas and then he didn't end up showing up till the end, like Ryan said. But maybe that's a good thing because he shows up earlier on this weekend. But I'm going to wait for that. Sean McBride is saying what the hell because he wanted some logs. Hey, there's still some time to potentially see some logs. So stay tuned. Maybe. We don't know. I don't know. But yeah, got to go with the Willie B. I feel like that's just the most consistent guy at this track. Aside from Ross Chastain, which is just also crazy that he gets eliminated and can't be able to showcase what he can do here at Vegas. And I got to bring up some comments as well as while I'm talking. Someone asked, Mao Maggie JG, Tino, thoughts on Chase Elliott to the Final Four? Well, now that he's got the mustache, I think Chase Elliott makes it to the championship 4. If it's not winning at Talladega, he wins at Martinsville and he gets in. If we're talking points as well, he is below the cut line, so he's going to have to do so with a win, and I think he wins at Martinsville. That's sort of my call out. Not to get ahead of us shows early, but that's my thoughts on Chase Elliott to championship 4.
Yeah, I mean, he's great at Martinsville. So, like, he'll be a threat. Regardless of what happens these next 2 weeks, he'll get to Martinsville, and he's definitely live still. So, I don't think he's dead until after that race. Even if he could wreck out of these 2 races, I still don't think he's dead if he gets to Martinsville. So, all right. So, let me pull up this again because this was from 2023. Chase Briscoe here. Felt like I was in another world in my subconscious all weekend. Don't remember much of it. All I know is I woke up with a handlebar mustache. Weird. And so I don't know. I was just feeling this Chase Briscoe. I thought it popped back up this week on his X, and that's where I pulled that photo from. So I don't know, but it looks pretty powerful to me. So
Yeah, I think
I
that was
love
his case to get voted popular driver instead of Chase Elliott because he has a mustache and his name is
yeah,
Chase.
because he did his So I mean, is that it?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's him.
That's him. That's what I'm saying. Like that's the one. So like, how does that lose anything? A race, a contest, doesn't matter what it is.
All right, well now take it off. I don't want Phil to win.
All right, so he's looking good. Let's move to RFK then. We'll jump to a Ford team, and again, I mean this one. I'll keep it simple. I'll lead it off here. I'm going with Chris Buescher. Don't want to get too funky here, but I would totally understand if you guys took the other 2 guys on this team as well. Priest was very strong in the spring race, by the way, at Vegas. But Chris Buescher, one of 7 drivers with top 10s in at least in almost half of the 17 races. He's got, I think, 8 top 10s, or maybe he's got. Hold on, I'm gonna pull that up real quick. Where are you at, Buescher? Yeah, Buescher. Well, he's not as good as I thought. I might pivot to Priest here, guys, live.
Whoa.
I might just do a Priest pivot because I'm just kind of feeling it. We're gonna go Ryan Priest pivot live here. Says
Might be a
Priest
first.
Priest was really strong in the spring here, and I was almost gonna write him down earlier. I'm just gonna go with Priest. I feel like this is a track where you get multiple lanes and some tire wear. I think he could really surprise us here. And I don't know, Keselowski's just snake bitten, all the time this season. Buescher's been solid. I think Buescher's a 8th to 15th place car this weekend, but I could also see Priest doing that too. Priest actually 2025 here. Let me just jump to this. Yeah, I think he's got 9 top 10s in this package. And I apologize I didn't have this up. I thought I did. Where are you, Priest? He's got 7 top 10s in the 16 races in this package. So I don't know, man. Give me Ryan Priest here. I'm gonna say he carries over that momentum from the spring and he has a strong race this weekend. Phil, I'm gonna jump back to you. Who do you got here for RFK?
Well, I'm going to go with Chris Buescher, and the reasoning for that is, you kind of laid out there. 8th to 14th is the expectation for Buescher. That's what he's done at Vegas. The best average finish in his group. Just barely behind Keselowski, but we're throwing him out. But 13th, 10th, he has a dead last in there, the start of 2024, 11th, 21st, 15th, like just average. And then this season, a little bit more the same, but he's been okay, right? With the speed in general, I trust him. If you're taking anybody from that group on any given Sunday, I'm taking Chris Buescher. Priest, I could see the reasoning. The explanation as to why I'm not going with Priest is, hey, it's a chance to be a little bit different here on kind of 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other. But Priest was, somebody just posted it, Brian just posted it. He wasn't great at Kansas. And it's been, so that's alarming, you could say, because he was good earlier in the year. kind of fallen off. And then he really just hasn't shown all that much recently as far as finishes go. So I'm going to take Busher here and just kind of hope that he's able to do that 8th to 14th type of race.
Yeah. So I couldn't fault us taking any of these three guys on this team. I mean, I think there's reasons for all of them, but something bad must have just happened in the Phillies game. Tino, what do you got here?
All right. So I love where we're at right now. Love where I'm at because the driver I'm thinking is different from the both of you. Brad Keselowski's got one top 10 here, as does Busher, as does Priest in the next gen era. But the difference about Brad is the fact that he's actually had race winning speed here at times. Crazy to say for someone like him. 2023, and he finished 4th in the fall race here. That was the time it looked like he was going to pull off an upset win. That was also the time I was at that track and Kyle Larson was super ultra aggressive, was looking like he was going to hit the inside wall because he was spinning off of turn 2, saved it, went on to win the race, super dominant, and I'll never forget something like that. But to keep on going with Brad Keselowski, he was in 5th place, stage 1 here last year, got involved in a wreck. That skews everything for him because he finished in 36th. So to me, maybe it was early on, yes, but to be 5th in stage 1 and have an opportunity to at least showcase some speed there before the, whatever incident he had, I feel like that's multiple chances for the fall race. He could have had top 10s, and this was going to be another one where I think he gets one. So yeah, I'm going to be a little Brad K. This might be I don't think it will be my last Brad K, but definitely not a consistent Brad K pick from me.
That's kind of how I thought RFK was going to go there. So I didn't mind pivoting to Priest at all to start things out. Spire, Tino, I'm going to let you jump back to a Chevy team here. Who do you got for Spire?
All right, so this is the one I was alluding to a little earlier on in the show. It's not Carson Hocevar. It's not Michael McDowell. Justin Haley for the surprise shocker maneuver. Roll the dice. It's Vegas, baby. Give me Justin Haley. That was sick. I'm a poet. I don't even know it, but I feel like.
Are you going Justin Haley?
Yeah, I am. I just thought it was funny that I kept rhyming on accident. But he's 12th in terms of average finish here out of all active drivers. So to me, I feel like that's big. Had one top 10 here, but we're looking at 14th, 17th, couple 27, 22nds, like consistently in the 14th to 25th range from him at this track. And sure, not the, I'm looking at Hocevar in terms of mile and a half and him having a lot more speed, but he has not been, we keep saying for him, he's always the fastest one out of this group. True. But he just really hasn't been there like this playoffs recently. I feel like to me, he's checked out. Maybe he comes back and has a strong run here, but at this track specifically, Haley is just better than McDowell and better than Hocevar. Hocevar's 35th in terms of average finish. So I just feel like with how he's been running lately, I want a guy that could just stay out of trouble, get me a top 20, and I think that's Justin Haley right here.
Yeah, with Hocevar, it's tough. I'm just addicted to the pain. So I know I have to win 4 in a row here, but I don't care. I'll take Carson Hocevar. This one track, when he was back in the Truck Series, he got better here every year. All 4 races, he improved at Las Vegas. And the last time out in Cup, both stages inside the top 10 before another unfortunate finish. And he's had so many of them, I know, but I'm just stuck on where he's running before then. I think it's a fast car, great race car driver. And a lot of these crappy finishes, like that laundry list of things that he had to start the year, were nothing that he did. So I'm not going to fault him for it. I'm going to hope that the good finish finally comes through. And I still think he can win a race before this year's over. 11th best in true performance on intermediates in 2025. McDowell's the next best at 25th in my scores. So it's just not even close. So give me Carson Hocevar here. Phil, who do you got?
Yeah, I get it. First of all, Zach, you're saying Ryan's going to win because Tino took Haley. What about me, man? What's wrong with my roster? I mentioned Hocevar earlier. The only guy worse than him on mile and a halves this season is Cody Ware. So, 0 top 20s on mile and a halves. I don't know what's going on with him. I could definitely see, like, you guys are taking the shock value, like the guys that would, high ceiling, I guess you would put it. I'm just going to go Michael McDowell. I'm going to ride down the center. I'm going to get a 19th, 20th place finish, and see, if that gets the job done for me, and kind of pray against those two guys. So I'll be steady Eddie, hopefully, if he goes out and does his thing. This season, to me, I kind of ignored the Vegas stats for all of these guys and simply went with this year mile and a half because of the like weirdness with like teams and everything like that. Now it's like apples to apples, comparison. So that's what got me to McDowell. Is he's been better this year compared to the other two.
I'll say it. It's got to be the first time this year that all three of us were different. RFK Spire.
Yeah, that's a
For
cool
sure.
one. Yeah,
For
yeah,
sure.
nice
Yeah.
milestone.
So that's
Zach's
cool.
also he's feeling, he thinks he can win it all now, Phil.
Now I appreciate that, my man.
I'm pissed now. I'm the only one that doesn't get mentioned now.
When I posted the results of the draft, who
I am last. Oh, I am last.
Okay, so you're gonna get the leverage here. Just want to know how we're gonna start out this next round, best of rest. I'll go ahead and lead it off. We'll go to Tino, then Tino again, then me, and then you can finish off the wild card, Phil. So best of rest for me. This was mentioned earlier quickly by Tino, and I don't really have much to say here. It's Ross Chastain. I talked about this on a preview with E-Step earlier today, just like, who are your wild cards to win the race that aren't in the playoffs? And I went with all of Team Trackhouse because they just show up fast here. He has one finish outside the top 7 in all the Gen 7 races at Vegas. That was a 12th place finish where he didn't finish a single stage outside the top 7. So, yeah, I expect Chastain to show up here and be a top 10 car. And one sneaky thing, Daniel Suarez has finished second in the last 2 Vegas races. Not many people realize that. And I know it took a lot of doing and whatever, and people can say whatever they want. And I know I don't score him well, to start the week either. He's trash as far as my simulations and everything are concerned. But SBG had a top 10 at Kansas. So whether it's strategy based or whatever, Trackhouse has shown a little bit of speed lately. Different package last week, but Suarez was wicked fast all race long. That was kind of cool to see him show up on a road course again. But give me Ross Chastain, everything Tino said earlier, and what I just said there. So let's jump to Tino. Tino, who's your best of the rest pick?
Yes, sir. Got to be Ross Chastain for me as well. Go fast, Troy. I'm right along with you. He likes a Ross top 10 and possibly Daniel Suarez. I wouldn't go Suarez, but I would take Chastain one step further, like him for a top 5. As of now, he's plus 250. Not sure where he's going to qualify, but honestly, I feel like even race day, I'm still going to take that number if it is of value. I mean, I don't see it getting much lower than that. And I feel like this is a race where Chastain's going to be maybe his old self, maybe just mess a bunch of stuff up, be aggressive. He's pissed off at himself for making his own, individual personal mistakes that costed him the chance to advance. Yeah. He was very hard on himself. I respect that out of him, having the accountability. And now he's going to not only his best track, but like the track that he's the best at, just statistically. He has the best average finish here. No wins. Gonna be tough to see him win. Like, I don't think he's gonna be there, but I think he has position to do so. Another thing too, Brian, you mentioned it. Strategy can come into play. Like, that's how Logano won this race last year. That's another reason why I like Penske, Blaney, and all that, like I was mentioning too. But I don't think it's going to be a strategy race. If it is, I think someone outside the playoffs like Chastain can capitalize and win it.
Yeah, that's all awesome stuff. He's not afraid to mix it up with the playoff drivers. He proved that, a couple championships ago, racing Blaney like that at Phoenix. So, yeah, give us both Ross Chastain and then Phil. Who do you got here for your best of rest?
Kyle has your pick here. I think he said in the chat, Catherine Leggs racing.
I'll never forgive her for screwing up Casey Kane's Xfinity ride earlier this year. She can just go fuck right off. She completely ruined that. But it's Ross Chastain, man. I have him top 10 plus 110 on ESPN. I love it. I could be convinced of the top 5 as well. You guys ripped off his stats, but 6 for 7 top 10s at Vegas. My goodness, like plus money. they slept on him, and I'm trying to capitalize on. So you guys said all there is to say about Ross. I'll just say this: Suarez is somebody that I did throw a little sprinkle on, plus 490 for a top 10.
Nice.
His last 2 races here, third and second. He's got 5 top 15s in those 7 races. So I know 15 doesn't pay out, but it's it's something to give you a little race within the race kind of deal, something different to follow along with, somebody that we haven't talked about in months. And
It's a good number.
I liked how that was thrown out there.
Yeah, that's a good number on Suarez. Where'd you get that? Do you remember?
FanDuel.
Okay, cool. All right. Now, Tino, I'm gonna jump to you. Close it out here. Your wild card pick for the second Las Vegas race of 2025. What do you got?
Oh, baby. All right. So, first comment that I look at in the chat from Sean McBride, and he's right. It's logs time. I appreciate you waiting till the end, my brother. We got the Vegas shirt on. The car was from 2022, and it's got the 22 on it. Pretty sick shirt, honestly. Got that when I was there. When I was there, Joe Logano won that race because of this and how great he has been here. I couldn't really pivot anywhere else. I feel like I have to have him on the card in some fashion. I have to be prepared. I talked about Penske a lot, and I do love Ryan. Ryan Blaney's still number 1 for me, right? I'm going for 8 wins in a row this week. Would be awesome. I think Blaney's the guy. We mentioned Larson Bell, but if it's none of them, it's going to be the inevitable Joey Logano. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like I want to take this last few seconds of my wild card here to say as well, it's just really impressive. I have to be with everything that the 22 team, but not just them, Penske as a whole is able to do to make it to the championship 4 with not being really that strong throughout the season. I'm not maybe. Well, I'll say this: I know when he won the championship, he was the worst average finisher to do so most recently. I understand that, but you got to have some sort of like intellectual thinking where it's like, no matter what the championship format is, I feel like Team Penske is just going to continue to be in the mix for it because of what we've seen these guys being able to do. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that because I feel like if it's Blaney or if it's Logano, these guys just continue to make it there. And it's from long green flag run speed or strategy, whatever could happen, you can expect these guys to be there at the end.
I love it. I kind of figured you were going to go there, and Sean did stick around to see it. Hopefully,
I appreciate
I think you
that.
said
Yeah,
that at
yeah.
the beginning. Yeah.
He's there. He's there.
Good. I had this written down all day long, and it's not going to be anyone new. So Phil can't really. I guess it's a little bit of a leverage on Phil's picks here, but I had Chase Briscoe written down all day here. The handlebar mustache is just the icing on the cake, but 9 top 5s in this package, second to only his teammate Denny Hamlin. And like you said, to me, this pick for me was between Denny Hamlin and Chase Briscoe, and I went with Briscoe. And like what we talked about, I just think Denny's team kind of struggles to find like a top 5 car here. The 19 team, for whatever reason, I mean, they top 10 every single race here with Truex. And then when Briscoe came here earlier in the year, that was when he wasn't really comfortable in this car. And then we've seen kind of just him grow into this role of being a dominant 19 JGR car. Again, that car has always been great. In his last 2 Xfinity races here, he absolutely mopped the field. It's a place he's very, very comfortable racing. And I think you get these different lines that he can run to in the tire wear. I like Chase Briscoe here. He pulled it and finished 4th at Vegas. Same tire combos like we talked about, and that's a very, very recent race. Won Darlington before that. That's just going to show you on this track type, or really anywhere for this guy now, he's just super strong. Hopefully he's over whatever sickness was bothering him last week and he's fully healthy heading into this one, because I think, we talked about Bell pulling the last 2 fall Vegas races. If there's one guy that's going to go out there and just do it again, because it's just what he does this year, it's Briscoe. Go out, win the pole, run up front all day, get your top 5 and go home. So I think we're in for a big points day from Briscoe this Vegas race, and it'd be a lot different than what we saw in the spring. Phil, what do you got here?
Well, you guys took my picks away from me. And so I think, reciprocation is only fair. I'm going to tell you this. One of my favorite moments of the week always used to be college game day, Saturday, waiting around for who Lee Corso is going to put the headgear on for. And we kind of have that taken away from us now. But I'll try to give you a little taste back into that, because I'm looking around here. Who could I go with? Byron, get some leverage on him. No, I don't want him. Should I go with Hamlin? I know a lot of loving Hamlin in the chat. No, I gotta go with my old love. There's a streak on the line for Tino, but there's another streak on the line for me. Come on, give me that. Give me it. Let's go. We got the Ryan Blaney shirt. Let's go.
Oh, nice.
Ryan Blaney. It's either going to
shirt.
be him winning or me winning. The streak's going to continue. I'm not letting this go, boys.
Oh my God, the shirt goes on live?
The shirt goes on. It's just like the headgear. Give me that Ryan Blaney pick, baby. I think for all the reasons you said, he's had all this time to prepare. Penske does it better than anybody. They prepare, they execute. Ford, Penske loves this track. If it's not going to be a Chevy, it's going to be the Logano. And I think for all the reasons that you said very well earlier, Tino, Blaney stands out as a speed demon this season. And I think with all that preparation, he comes back and he gets it done. It's Blaney. Let's go. I'm not letting you guys take him. You can't take him from me. He's in. I'm locked in. Ryan Blaney gets it done this weekend. And if it's not him, I'm winning the draft.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
That was awesome, dude. Like I've
already bet.
Sick.
I've already bet Larson this week, and now I'm gonna have to bet Blaney too. Come on, man.
The shirt on live was one of the best things all season. Let's go.
I felt that.
I miss
Corso. Gave me chills.
I miss Corso. That was the best part of the week. But so I needed to give my little headgear type nod, and hopefully it works out.
Nice.
That gave me some chills.
Nice yeah, no, really,
chills.
Me too. I almost start tearing up.
I know.
You're just not feeling well.
It's been an emotional week. That just is.
I'm about to pass
man. All right. Well, that was great. I love our teams here. We're very different. Our wild cards are all different. Well, you got Blaney, so we did that. But come on. I mean, this whole thing, crazy. All three different Spire guys, all three different RFK guys. Great stuff.
Different front row guys.
Denny Hamlin on the board.
Yeah, it's wild.
Has more top three finishes than anyone by a mile in this package this year. No Denny Hamlin for any of us. So we're about to find out if he really can't do Vegas, or come Sunday morning we'll be like, oh shit, Denny's on the pole and he was fast in practice for once. And I can't believe I got to go bet Ryan Blaney now. God damn it. All right. Great show. Everyone, thank you for commenting, bringing the banter, all the good stuff. As always, appreciate you guys so much. WinTheRace.info is where you can find all my stuff I pull up here, all the cool stuff, true performance scores, all the stuff's on the site. Go mess around with it. Loop Edge is cool. Got all the data you need if you want to have some fun with some NASCAR stats. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. Tino, I know you're sick. We'll get you out of here. Tell everyone where they can find your good work.
Yes, sir. I appreciate everyone in the chat. Go Fast, Troy, Brian, shout out Brian. He'll be there, boots on the ground. So stick around, tune in, whatever you want to do to lock into their content. I was with Brian in Vegas, so that was really cool earlier on in the spring. Won't be there myself, unfortunately. Got another wedding. So that'll be cool for me to watch it from afar. But Brian, tune into them and everything they do there. Great stuff. I'll be missing seeing them this time around. Go Fast, Troy was in the chat. Keith was in the chat. Zach, our boy Team 54, NASCAR Talk channel. He's going to be pissed if Logs wins another championship. And that's fair. But I know who's not going to be pissed, and that's Sean McBride. He was in the chat. Shout out to him. Big Ross, as always. Shout out Big Ross. We got everyone tonight. Kyle, Mustard Rob, over the levy, one of those. Shout out to you. Shout out to Robert Wilson. Shout out to everyone in the chat that just keeps on making this show better and better. I feel like I'm going super slow this time. Mao, Maggie, JG was here. Oh, shout out our boy Easton in the chat as well. Hope you made it to the end and hope you tuned in and it was a good show. Appreciate you checking in there. Mike Manning, all the people that tuned in and made us go. I think I got you all. If I missed you, comment now so I can get you and shout out you guys because Wyatt was here as well. Because it means a lot. I take a little bit of time there to, shout everyone out, but I really think it was, that's something that I love to do. And I love when all you guys are in here commenting. You can find my stuff at SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, at Tino PATTIGNO on social media, going for 8 in a row. So that's super exciting. Phil put the shirt on, so now I'm feeling even better about the Blaney as the P1 pick there. Also be on Nuke the House, one of our partners here with the draft. So tune into them 11 a.m. on race day. That's a great show to always be on, and I'll be back there this weekend. So tune in to be Tino, all that stuff that I'm on, and I appreciate everyone for commenting and tuning in.
Yeah, I'll probably be on Nuke the House live for the race Sunday night, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, betting live. Family's away this weekend, so I'm going to be able to bet some races live. Be a lot of fun with the boys on Nuke the House. So that will depend on how the 49ers are playing. I will say that. I might just have to watch by myself, but we'll see how that goes. Phil, where can everyone find your good work, man?
Yeah, appreciate the comment there from Brian. Full Tank with Phil is the name of my podcast, and talk about some of the plays we talked about already today, but also a bunch of other conversations. So give me a look there, and at Full Tank Phil on Instagram for the race day card, and X to chop it up. Let me know who you're on this weekend, and looking forward to a great finish, close out to this season, and about to go watch my Phillies last gasp here. So we'll see, but if anyone doesn't have a dog in the fight, we'll appreciate your good cheers for the Phillies if you're up for it. So we'll see how it goes. Thank you all. This was great. Mention everybody in the chat. It's fantastic, and keeps this continuously being the best night of the week.
Yeah. Brian, and you said Brian Twining too. He's going to be there at the races in Vegas, boots on the ground. I know he loves this time of year. Angle of Pursuit podcast. You see it on the bottom right of the screen there. Go subscribe to that everywhere. 2 shows a week, betting one, DFS one. Kyle Robert, Brian Twining, both crush it every week. Both episodes. They're always in Discord too, dropping some good knowledge. We get some insider stuff from Brian as well. It's awesome to have him. Thank you guys very much for listening. Wish you the best of luck this weekend. We're going to have 2 awesome races: Xfinity Saturday night, Cup Sunday night. Let's go. Best time of year. We got MLB playoffs going down. We got NFL Sunday, races on. Let's go. Have some fun. Good luck.